Well, Sarah, we've reached that song in our Every Single Oasis Single series.
We have, Katie. We promised that we were going to do every Oasis single, so we have to do this one.
We have to do this one.
Katie, what single are we talking about this week?
Sarah, this week we are talking about Wonderwall. I just want to take a moment to cheers to Wonderwall.
Yeah. Katie brought some drinks. Cheers.
Cheers.
Get that pint ready. We're going into Wonderwall.
Our deep dive into Wonderwall, Oasis people.
Let's do it. Wonderwall, it goes beyond Oasis. It goes beyond Britpop. It goes beyond 90s alternative rock music.
Wonderwall.
I think it's one of the biggest songs. It's one of the most popular songs in our popular pop music era.
Yeah.
I think in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Wonderwall? For sure.
Yeah. Wonderwall is the song of a generation.
It really is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. And before we get into some tidbits, it's our introduction into, it was our gateway song into Oasis, Katie.
Yeah. And when we talked about that earlier, Sarah, I had a thought that I feel like a lot of North Americans can say that.
Exactly.
Because this is the song that broke Oasis into international fame.
It did. This was it. This was what made them international rock stars. It was Wonderwall.
Yeah, it was.
And it made them in North America.
It made them in North America and then eventually the entire world.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this was the song, and this was the first song I remember hearing of Oasis.
Oh, I still remember sitting in the living room in Embro, Ontario, and this song comes on the TV on Chum FM 30, which was Sarah and I. We've often talked about how we had no satellite, no cable out in the country. And I remember seeing this video, Sarah, and me, you, and our older brother being like, damn, this song is cool. And this band is really cool.
Yeah. Even as little kids, we just, something about this song, you just knew watching the video and listening to this song.
Yeah.
It just sucked you into the world of Oasis.
It really did suck you into the world of Oasis.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because Sarah and I have different takes on the song in the sense that Sarah has mentioned before that she grew tired of it after a while.
I did. I thought it was overplayed, and I had periods in my life. We all have a personal relationship and journey with Wonderwall, and I had periods in my life where I would just not listen to it.
Yeah. And I can honestly 100% say, Sarah, that never happened with me.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
I have no judgment to Sarah because I have some of my favorite bands where their most played songs, people go nuts at concerts when they play it, and I just don't feel anything. And what comes to mind for me, and people don't hate me, is Under the Bridge, the Chili Peppers.
That was
I
played a
love
lot.
the Chili Peppers, but when they play that song, I'm just like, I've heard this song so many times. I've had enough.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but Pearl Jam Alive, it's
Whoa,
just
Katie.
played so much that I could do without. Wonderwall though, I don't know. Never had that with Wonderwall. I if it came on the radio, I wouldn't skip it. I would just turn it up and sing along.
That's so interesting because you're a huge Oasis fan.
I am.
For you to say that. Like, is there anyone else listening that's a huge Oasis fan that also never got sick of Wonderwall?
Never got sick of it.
So interesting.
Now, that being said, Sarah, if any of you have watched our past episodes on Oasis, we had our top 10 Oasis songs each. I didn't include it on my top 10.
No.
I must admit that.
Yeah.
But never got sick of it.
Just never got sick of it.
Never got sick of it.
Wow. I did. And I'm saying that as a huge Oasis fan.
Yeah.
That's the
like I
one
said, no
Oasis.
judgment.
Yeah, that's the one Oasis songs where I did get sick of it. Never got sick of Don't Look Back in Anger. But Wonderwall, I did. Yeah.
But it's okay. She came back.
I did come back. It boomeranged.
Boomeranged, yes.
For
It came back to you.
Wonderwall is a boomerang song for me.
Yeah.
Yes, in my older age.
Well, Sarah, maybe let's go into the tidbits. What are some things you can tell us? What are some stats?
Tidbits. Let's do it. So Wonderwall was released October 30th, 1995, 28 days after Morning Glory's release of October 2nd. So to promote the Morning Glory. This was Wonderwall was first premiered on June 24th, 95, the day after Oasis first headlined Glastonbury. Noel does like a little acoustic set for Channel 4, and he just sneaks in Wonderwall. I thought that was funny because I'm like, you headlined the night before. Don't play Wonderwall. Yeah, don't play Wonderwall. And then he plays it the next day as a small acoustic set. Like, oh, here's Wonderwall.
I think that's very Noel Gallagher.
Very Noel Gallagher. Charts. I always assumed Wonderwall hit number 1, especially in the UK, but it actually only went to number 2.
I remember we discussed that when we did our episode on 30 Years of Morning Glory, What's the Story of Morning Glory, and I was blown away. I assumed it was number 1. I thought this song has to be number 1. Or had been number 1.
Yeah, similarly to Roll With It, it enters the charts and peaks at number 2. Yeah,
Funny.
Yeah, crazy. Also peaks at number 2 on the Irish singles charts. Peaked at number 5 here in Canada.
Nice.
Big thing about Wonderwall is it is the most commercially successful song in the States.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So it did chart. It peaked at number 8 on the Billboard Top 100. It stays on the charts for 20 weeks. Oasis actually only have 3 songs on the top 100 Billboard charts.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, I thought with because Be Here Now was pretty big.
Yep.
I thought for sure for the top 100 they had more with Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, Heathen Chemistry, but no, this is Wonderwall's the only one that makes it into the top 10.
Wow.
Back to the UK singles chart. So Wonderwall has spent a total of 103 weeks on the UK singles charts. It has charted throughout the years since its release in 95. Thought this was kind of cool. With the announcement of the reunion tour back in September 2025, it gets back into the charts, Wonderwall, enters at number 27, and then the following week peaks at number 11. Like 30 years later.
I love that their reunion tour brought them back into the charts and high into the charts.
Yeah, like they just announced it, and Wonderwall peaks at number 11, almost makes it into the top 10. Stays on the charts for another 4 weeks. I thought this was a really cool fun fact, and I didn't know this. Wonderwall is the first song from the 90s to reach 1 billion streams on Spotify.
So the first song from the 90s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy.
Oh. And at the time of this recording, Wonderwall sits at about 2.7 billion streams. Like, it's going to hit 3 billion.
Yep.
It's on its way. Yep. The original title of the song was Wishing Stone.
It's funny hearing that just doesn't have a ring to it like Wonderwall, but maybe I'm so ingrained to have Wonderwall.
That's it.
Stone.
I was surprised by that too, and I'm like, I kind of get Wishing Stone and what the song is about, or how you can interpret the lyrics, but I know it just doesn't work like Wonderwall. But maybe because we're so used to it being Wonderwall.
I wonder what made him change his mind.
I don't know.
Was last minute he like, no, let's go with Wonderwall.
Wonderwall, it is from something like a George Harrison record or something. So maybe he just saw it again and thought,
like, this actually sounds cooler.
It's kind of it is cool, Wonderwall.
Yeah.
So this may be an old wives' tale, but apparently Noel gave Liam the option of singing either Wonderwall or Don't Look Back in Anger, and Liam chose Wonderwall.
I never heard that.
Yeah. Again, because it's so ingrained in us, like Liam is Wonderwall, Noel is Don't Look Back in Anger.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really interesting.
I gotta say though, as someone who's listened to Noel sing Wonderwall before on live sets, I prefer Liam.
Oh.
I just think you can't beat Liam Gallagher singing Wonderwall.
Liam is phenomenal.
He was meant to sing that song.
He was. When you just hear him belt out that song, like, it really showcases Liam's singing capabilities. And that guy can really hold a tune, because Wonderwall is a tough song to sing.
It is.
If you really want to hold that
at the end, that really note, like by the end of the song.
Yes.
When he really holds out, I said maybe.
And like that could sound boring, but he makes it very dynamic.
Yeah, very dynamic.
Our friends at Melody Maker
What did they have to say, Sarah?
They made Wonderwall Single of the Week. Michael Bonner, apologies if I'm mispronouncing that last name. He says, quote, "A mesmeric declaration of love, haunting, beautiful, and effortlessly simple. And unless you've been locked away in a coal cellar for the last 2 months, you should know it forwards, backwards, and sideways by now." In 2006, it was named the second greatest song of all time in a poll conducted by Q Magazine, finishing after Live Forever.
That's crazy. Eh? They made 1 and 2.
The greatest songs of all time in Q Magazine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big magazine.
That's a reputable
It is.
magazine for
Wow.
sure.
In 2014, the song was voted number 36 of the 500 greatest songs of all time in NME.
That's cool too.
Number 36.
Another really well-known and renowned magazine.
Exactly.
Yep.
In 2016, Wonderwall was voted the greatest British song of all time by Radio X listeners. So just the
The
regular
listeners,
public.
the people spoke.
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane.
It is. In 2021, Rolling Stone placed the song at number 95 on its list of the 500 greatest songs of all time.
Again, that's really cool.
Very cool.
And what's cool too is that Rolling Stone's American.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Q Enemy
Yeah.
is still amazing, but man, even the North American magazine
Yeah.
voted your song really high, or
because
rated it
Rolling
high.
Stone, internationally, that's one of the, or it was like a huge publication.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone in August 2024, with the announcement of the reunion tour, they listed their top 40 best Oasis songs, and Wonderwall gets in there at number 4.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty
I
good.
figured it'd make top 5.
Yeah, exactly. The Edge of U2 said that Wonderwall was one of the songs that he wishes he wrote.
I could see that.
Yeah, totally. I don't know if you remember this, Katie, but in 2012 at the Summer Olympics, they were held in London, and quite a few different artists played for, I think this was the closing ceremony. And Liam Gallagher with Beady Eye play, and they perform Wonderwall.
See, it's funny. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I
Yeah.
just remembered the Spice Girls.
That was huge because Posh came back.
Okay.
And they did a
Okay.
good job, the Spice Girls.
I remember they looked
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, they did.
But I probably 2012. I wasn't listening to a ton of Oasis at that time.
Yeah,
they weren't
no, me
together
neither. Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. It's so interesting, and we can go into this, like Noel and Liam's relationship with Wonderwall, right? And just an artist's relationship with the songs that they write. So Noel admitted with Radio X back in 2021 that he doesn't feel like Wonderwall truly represents them as an artist. And he said, quote, "Wonderwall is one of my least favorite songs because it's not finished. If I could somehow twist time and go back there, I'd probably pick a different song for our calling card. Probably, some might say."
I find that interesting. I wonder what he means by it's not finished.
I know.
Because to me, it
that
feels
stuck out
like
for me
the
too.
song is perfect.
Yes. I know. It's always so, like, did he just, because he often mentions like songs just come to me. So
Yeah.
maybe it's this one just came to him and then it just kind of worked and they put it on the record. Like, there's no way they knew how huge the song
Well,
was
it's
going
funny.
to be.
I've thought about that with Wonderwall in particular because that just became their song. And
Yes.
I wonder when Noel wrote it and played it for the record execs and they put it on or played it for the producer like Owen Morris and they put it on the album. Did everybody know like, yeah, this is gonna go somewhere?
I did read that Alan McGee, when he heard Wonderwall, he said this is going to be a hit.
Okay.
So maybe
They had to,
maybe at
like,
that point
yeah.
they knew, but did they know like how huge it was
I don't
going
think
to
anyone
get?
knew how huge
like,
it would get.
It just, oh my gosh. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. Now, he has said some might say he thinks it's the most Oasis sounding song.
Yeah.
It's a great song. And apparently, Liam doesn't really like Wonderwall either. He did say, now, this was back in 2008, recording Dig Out Your Soul. He did say, "At least there's no Wonderwall on there. I can't effing stand that effing song. Every time I have to sing it, I want to gag. Problem is, it was a big, big tune for us." And that must be hard for bands because you have that one song that you have to play all the time.
Yeah. I feel that like
Right.
2008 was just a bad time for the band. That was very
Yeah.
close to when they broke
Yeah, you're
up, when
right.
they had that really bad Virgin Festival situation.
That's true. That's a good
So
point.
he was probably just, and that is like the song of the band. So he
It
probably was
is.
just tired in general of Oasis.
That's fair. And having said that, I know in the last few years that I think Liam has warmed up to the song more.
Yeah.
How
can you not?
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Such a good song.
It is. It is. And then I guess Noel is still kind of iffy about it. He just says, "You play the opening first 3 seconds and everybody goes, right, this is what we've effing come for. All the great artists have one of those songs. I'm lucky to have 5. And it's funny, in no way is it my favorite song." And I'm super curious, like, what's the 5 songs
I know.
that he considers? When he said 5, I was like, oh,
It's got to be Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger.
Those are the
Live
two.
Forever, probably.
Oh, Live Forever, yeah. Supersonic, maybe.
Supersonic. But like, what's the
And-
5th one?
Some might say, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah. When he said 5, I was like, oh, I'd be Soup's curious, Skull. What's
my
the 5?
dream to have Noel Gallagher as a guest on the show, and if he ever is, we will ask him.
He can let us know.
Yeah.
Final tidbit, Wonderwall was included in the reunion tour.
Yes.
Second last song that they played. And as someone who has kind of broken up with Wonderwall and rekindled my relationship with it, I enjoyed it more at the reunion tour than I thought I was going to.
Oh, I thought it was magical.
Well, as someone who is a huge Oasis fan and you've never got sick of Wonderwall, that must have been really cool.
It was just the ultimate for me.
Yeah.
The ultimate experience.
Yeah,
Under
it was-
the night sky with the stars.
I thought maybe
Everyone
they-
singing along.
Yeah, it was lovely. I thought they were maybe going to play it like mid, but I guess it makes sense that they played it at the end.
I think so.
Yeah, to end it. It was lovely. It was lovely.
I wonder what would happen here if they just didn't play it at the reunion tour when comments have been made.
I wonder, did
If
they?
Noel and Liam were like, F you guys, we're just not playing
Yeah,
it.
like did they? Well, they kind of could, but did they play it because they're like, okay, we have to play
Oh,
Wonderwall?
I guarantee you, Sarah.
Or was it like, no, we like it now? You know what I mean? Like
Bit of both, maybe.
bit of both. Yeah. You have to play Wonderwall.
You have
I
to.
guess. I figured. Tracklist. So the B-sides, Round Our Way. That's a good one.
That is a toe tapper.
It is. I may get some comments about this. I think personally they should have ended the reunion tour with Round Our Way opposed to Champagne Supernova. Sorry, I know.
I think that would have been so cool.
Wouldn't
it is such
it?
a beady song.
Oh my God, it's a banger.
with the fireworks. And
yeah, exactly.
I believe I've mentioned it before, Sarah, in past episodes, that there's a movie in the 90s, A Life Less Ordinary, with Cameron Diaz and Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
And it was done by, I might sound like an idiot, Danny Boyle. He did Trainspotting.
Could be. I don't
The guy
know.
that looks like Morrissey.
Does he?
Yeah, he looks exactly like the guy who did Trainspotting. Oh, yeah, like look it up. Because he did Slumdog Millionaire.
Definitely look that up.
And he did a movie, A Life Less Ordinary. It came out after Trainspotting. It was still a bit bizarre, but not as dark as Trainspotting.
yeah.
And Ewan McGregor and Cameron Diaz at the end, spoiler alert, they end up together and they play this song, and it's such a great way to end the movie.
I thought that was like the coolest.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good ending song.
It
The
is.
end
It's
of
happy,
something.
the horns.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
the horns really show how Oasis and Noel Gallagher as a songwriter were evolving.
Yeah. Yep. Because it really suits like the brass instruments and personally, man, I'm like that would have been an amazing closer.
No, I think that's a good point.
Eh? Ugh.
So what do we
After
have? We
Wonderwall?
had we wanted to open up with, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Play Fading Out,
Yeah.
end with Round Our Way.
Yep. Those are our hot tips.
Hot tips. If you guys do actually come back
Yeah.
together for 2027,
There
we
you
have some
go.
ideas for you.
Yeah. That's another episode for sure.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Swamp Song.
Okay. Swamp Song, Sarah. So this morning, to get into this episode, I listened to the actual EP
Sure.
on YouTube Music because
Nice.
I couldn't recall what the B-sides were.
Yeah.
But I was like, they had to be some hot B-sides because at
Oh,
this point,
yeah.
Noel was just
On
what?
fire.
Attack of the Killer Bees, as the melody
Attack
maker
of the
said.
Killer Bees. That's right.
And I listened to Swamp Song. that used to be a track skipper for me. I was like, oh, whatever. No, there's no lyrics. I don't really care.
Yeah.
As an adult listening to it, what a cool song.
It's one of the coolest songs.
I just picture Noel and the band jamming in a studio, and Noel just kind of starts playing, and the others just kind of come in and they come together, and
That's the vibe of the song.
it is.
Yeah.
I don't know how they make that sound. That I know. I don't do it justice.
I know what you mean.
But
I know what you mean.
if that's
I
the
don't know if
guitar.
yeah.
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 I'm not a musician myself, so I don't know how they do it, but it's so cool.
Oh, if you've made it this far, you had this in your house there and then.
There and then.
There and then. Our older brother had it on VHS. And
VHS.
I didn't realize this when I was young, but it's clips. A lot of it's from Main Road, their big shows in like 96.
Okay.
And there's one where one of the nights they start with Swamp Song. So Noel walks out in that, the jacket. It's like the red on top of the chest and the arms, and then it's like a cream white.
I know exactly what you're talking
You
about.
know exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly what you're talking
He walks
about.
out with his arms open, and I remember that so vividly as a little girl.
And
it's
sound.
Swamp Song. And I'm like, what a cool ass way to start a concert. Swamp Song. Not gonna lie, I thought they were going to start with Swamp Song for the reunion tour.
That would have been really cool. Like,
yeah.
it's tough because Evan in the Bush was a really cool way to start with.
It
This
was.
is not a drill, and that comes on.
That was
I
cool.
think, Sarah, they should have done Swamp Song in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Maybe before Noel's
Yeah.
little acoustic set.
Yeah, like a
That
little
would've been
break.
cool,
Oh,
a
actually,
little break.
That would have been really cool.
Because Liam went off on a break anyway,
That's
right?
right,
For Noel's
that's
set.
right.
So that would have been really cool. Man, we're just like full of
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah, because Liam would have gone off of a break, jammed a Swamp Song. That gives Noel a break for his vocals.
Yeah.
Then he does his...
Have some water,
Katie,
hydrate.
We know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? We just...
Oh, yeah. We should be tour managers.
Oh, jeez. And then the master plan.
The master plan.
Yeah.
I've talked about it before, and I'm sure I'm going to get flack, but how I didn't like the master plan because it felt
That's fair.
too
Yeah.
musical,
Yeah. Yeah.
musically to me.
It has a musical vibe to it.
But as an adult, that's a really just contemplative, like meditative song.
It is. Well, it starts off slow, and then it kind of... Well, I guess that's the musical vibe of it. Then it goes into like this big...
Sing it loud and sing it proud
Yep.
today.
Yep. Exactly.
And it really takes you over.
It does take you over. It's one of those take you over Oasis songs.
It is a take you over, and it really makes you reflect on life. And you're like, we all are just part of the master plan of like whatever's up there.
Aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've mentioned this before. Noel Gallagher and the High Flying Birds do a few songs at Abbey Road Studio. They do
This
the
is one of
master
them.
plan, and it made me get back into the master plan.
Yeah,
I
that can
just it
happen.
came up on my YouTube. It was really good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When I first saw when we first discussed the set list and they played Master Plan for the reunion tour, I was kind of like, really? Like, that made
Yeah.
that made your 20 songs or however many songs it was. But then seeing it live and listening to it again, I get it.
It's funny you mention that because we also mentioned that with Fade Away, where when you see the track listing and you're like, oh, but then when you're there,
You're
and
there experiencing it with other Oasis fans.
you get it. You're
get
like,
it.
now I get why you did this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they just knew, right? When
Yeah.
they were like, I don't know, at some point coming together and practicing.
Yeah.
But-
I also want to make a point to mention, Sarah, that I know we overused the word iconic, but that cover to Wonderwall with the girl in the frame,
Yeah,
that's iconic.
it is. It is.
I was really tempted to buy the t-shirt of that.
It's a cool cover, and it's Michael Spencer Jones again.
Okay.
And he said with something with like, because she's framed. Right?
Someone's holding a frame.
Someone's holding a frame. Brian Cannon's holding it apparently.
Okay.
And she's looking at you.
Yeah.
Not just you looking at her.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was a really cool description how he described that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a cool cover.
Yeah.
And
I
they
love it.
used the frame in the reunion tour.
Yep.
Which I thought
and
was
if
really
you're
cool.
a diehard fan, you're like, I know where that frame's from.
Well, it's kind of like they're saying, if you know, you know.
if you know, you know. If you
Right?
know, yeah.
And a lot of you out there probably knew, right?
Oh, yeah.
That was cool. With that, like the video.
Oh, the video.
I know, like...
I feel like we could do an episode just on the Oasis Wonderwall video.
Oh, you could. You
So
totally
Sarah
could.
and I, if you guys haven't already listened, but last year we did our favorite 90s music videos.
We did.
And or 90s and 2000s. And we did do at the end, our honorable mention was Wonderwall.
Oh yeah. I think this is one of my favorite videos of all time, music videos.
It is.
It's one of the best done from the 90s. It's just it's so good.
And what I like about it is it's simple.
Yeah.
Like there isn't a ton to it. I believe Sarah said you read an article, they called it minimalist. It's a minimalist video.
A podcast, he said, yeah, minimalist, which I thought was a good description.
Which is, because it's not, there's no fireworks, there's no famous celebrities.
No.
There's only one set. They're in that not studio, but
That's
garage type area.
Yeah.
But what I love about this video, Sarah, is I just feel like it's Oasis as Oasis. And I've often talked about this watching old No Doubt videos. They spring to mind because I remember just watching their old videos. And it's before Oasis had the weight of the world on their shoulders.
Yeah.
And I felt like you could just feel that in the video. They're just having a good time.
Oh, for sure. Well, I don't remember exactly when this was filmed, but it was before Wonderwall totally took over.
Yeah.
So you're right. They could just, I don't know, it's really just them being themselves. Like,
it is.
There's a genuine quality to this video. Like,
there is a genuine quality.
They're serious, but there's also like a little bit of, I don't know, cute cheekiness, like Noel raising his eyebrows.
Raising the eyebrows,
right?
Noel with the megaphone into Liam's ear, and Liam's just on the seat. It's so Oasis.
It is.
And even just Liam, and when I watched it, when Sarah and I first saw it, I was 8, Sarah was 10, so we were very young, and I didn't know what Burberry was, but now watching, he's wearing that iconic Burberry. I'm sure the sales of Burberry shirts and Adidas shoes went way up after this video.
Because he's wearing the Burberry shirt with those kind of corduroy pants with the Adidas shoes. Yeah. Like, just so on point.
I know. Oh, on point, that outfit. And Noel too, I believe he has a denim jacket on.
Is it denim or like a black jacket or something?
Well, it's in black and white, so hard to tell. But a jacket.
That's right.
And so also this is the first video with Alan White. This is Alan White's first Oasis song. So that's
your introduction is Wonderwall,
and he fit in so well with the band.
He did.
Yeah.
He did,
Tony, I have nothing against Tony. He seemed okay for the time.
Yeah.
But Alan just really, this felt like the prime of Oasis.
Yeah.
And
well, you're entering the prime.
You're entering,
of
and
Oasis,
even Bonehead, he's kind of being not goofy in the video, but just kind of having fun.
Yeah. No.
And unfortunately, Gwigski's not in the video because he was taking a break from the band.
That's
and that guy, I don't know his name, but he really looked like good with the band.
He did.
Video.
He suited
it.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm here and I'm part of Oasis right now.
Yeah. And I hadn't sat down to actually watch the video in years. So I sat down the other day and I watched it in its entirety, Sarah. And I'm not even kidding you. I got goosebumps. Just, I don't know, just the song itself, the strong dose of nostalgia I was punched with. Like, I just got these goosebumps.
Well, as we mentioned, it was a different time, right? Before social media, internet, wasn't what it was. MTV or Much Music, if you were in Canada, was huge.
Yeah.
This was their visual representation for Oasis and their visual introduction into the international music scene.
Yeah.
So for a lot of kids our age, it was Wonderwall.
Yeah.
This was what got me into the Gallagher Brothers.
This is what got us Canadian, Southwestern Ontarians and all us other North Americans into Oasis.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because before Sarah and I started this podcast series of Every Single Oasis Single, I'll be honest, Sarah, I didn't realize how big they were already doing in the UK at this point.
Yeah.
Especially in like Manchester. So I didn't realize that they were already making an impact in the UK. And then they come out with Wonderwall and they just made it throughout the entire world. Like, we've even talked about how they were big in Asia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it really was Wonderwall. They were, like, again, as a kid, you're right. I didn't know how big Definitely Maybe was
No,
in
I
the
didn't
UK.
even know about it.
And they weren't, maybe they made a little bit of a splash in the indie scene in North America, but not really.
Even Roll With It, and some might say, I don't remember that on the radio.
No, those videos
in Ontario. No,
it really was. It was Wonderwall. And then with Wonderwall, if you liked it, then you listened to Morning Glory. Then you're like, oh, they have another album.
Yeah,
what?
Which is also really good.
And you're like,
then you dig into their B-sides, and you're like,
yeah,
this blows my mind.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah, like remember our older brother had the singles collections of definitely maybe in Morning Glory.
Yeah, one
Do
was
you remember
silver,
the
one was
box?
gold.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it opened
I totally
up.
remember that.
Like, I didn't realize as a kid you open it up like a cigarette package.
Okay, yeah, I can see
And
that.
I was like, I just see some guys on YouTube showing it, and I'm like, oh my God, we had those.
I know. There are so many things of Oasis that we had, Sarah, that I'm so sad we gave away.
Those were so cool.
The poster that Walmart sold of Liam and Noel on the bench.
Oh my
back
gosh.
to back.
I had that on my wall.
Yeah, we never kept it, but
I know. So classic.
I know.
Oh well. What are you gonna do? I will end with the music video. Okay, I did get sick of Wonderwall. I never got sick of the video.
No, you can't. You
You
can't.
can't. You just can't.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh no. Oasis Wonderwall is just it's one of my favorite music videos of all time. I love the
Yeah.
way the band looks. I love the the clown edition, the one show or a few showgirls, the man playing cello or the one there was people playing cellos,
Yep.
like
Everything.
Yeah.
It just all works so well together.
and the megaphones in color.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What's the interpretation? Like what's the little
I forgot about that. It's like green, right?
maybe it's because their Live Forever video was so terrible and they had that Noel's like, I'm gonna make a cool video where there's just one green instrument.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes, they redeemed themselves with Wonderwall
Oh.
after the Live Forever debacle, for sure.
Yeah. And all the
Yeah.
Blur fans, Sarah, who bought Country House were like, ugh.
Oh, yeah. No, with Wonderwall, I think Oasis could be like, yeah, we won.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share my personal interpretation of Wonderwall, and Katie has heard this before. I have mentioned this on the podcast. So Wonderwall is, I just think how Liam sings it, the lyrics, how it's musically delivered, it is open to interpretation. And I thought it was interesting how Noel mentioned once that he said, the meaning of that song was taken away from me by the media who jumped on it. So it was always noted that it was about his ex. I guess you're my Wonderwall. But he said later that it's a song about an imaginary friend who's going to come and save you from yourself. So my interpretation, now that I'm older, I'm back hardcore into Oasis, and I have a new appreciation for Wonderwall, is the song Wonderwall is about a relationship you have with yourself. You need to have a good, healthy relationship with yourself and be your own Wonderwall. And when I thought about that and you listen to it again, powerful when you listen to the lyrics again. And of course, a beautiful thing about Wonderwall is you can interpret the lyrics however you want. You can do it like romantically, but I think it's that. And I would be so curious to hear of Noel's thoughts about Wonderwall. Wonderwall now, like what is his relationship? Would he still describe it as an imaginary friend coming to save you from yourself, or is it something new? Because and Liam too, because he's such a huge part of Wonderwall, like their relationship with Wonderwall, and now after they're older, they've been through so much professionally and personally, and then with this reunion tour, like what's their current relationship or thoughts on Wonderwall?
Yeah.
And that's such a personal thing, but I'd be so curious to know what they think about it now in 2026 after everything, because Wonderwall it's the biggest Oasis song.
It is. And like I said, I just remember the night of the reunion tour, them playing it, and it was just, I wish I could take that feeling and just put it in a jar.
Yeah.
And release it when I need it. It was just a really cool feeling.
Yeah.
Everyone's singing it in unison.
Yeah. Yeah, like exactly. And like how Noel said, like it's not fully finished. I
want to hear I want to unpack that comment.
Yes. I was listening to this one artist, and she's a singer and a writer and a poet and so many things. And she mentioned that she starts like a piece of artwork, and sometimes she doesn't really know what it's going to turn into, but she just does it. Yeah. And like that creative process. Yeah. So I'd be so curious to hear of Noel's creative process with Wonderwall. Yeah. Because at the point he probably didn't know it was going to be what it became.
No.
So is he fully satisfied at this point in his life with Wonderwall? Or is it still like, because like it's a piece of artwork. There's movement to it and it flows. I just thought like, and we've talked about this before, how artists are not robots, they're human beings, and they play these songs. Like, how did it feel playing Wonderwall together? I don't know. And maybe that's a part of the beautiful piece of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, all these songs, of course, but just something about Wonderwall, just because it was so huge and it transcended the band in so many ways. Be your own Wonderwall. That's, I have a new appreciation for the song.
Yeah.
With the reunion tour and everything. So, and doing this series, right? Listening to it on a deeper level this week.
Yeah, and I just found it really refreshing to sit down and just watch the video from beginning to end.
I like how you said refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think all too often, what's interesting is this video came out in the 90s, and I think all too often now we put things on the background, we don't really pay attention to it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You're cleaning your house, you're scrolling on Amazon, you're texting friends. It was so nice to just put my phone away and sit and watch the video like I was a kid again.
I was just going to say, and that's what we did as kids.
Yeah.
You would sit there and watch the music video.
Yeah.
It was an experience, like an activity.
It was.
Right? Yeah.
And we've touched on this in past episodes, but what was so beautiful about the show is the crowd was awesome at our show in particular, and people just weren't on their phones. Like, people were just paying attention to Oasis and paying attention to the songs that they grew up with in their childhood.
Yeah, really.
Wonderwall being one of them.
Really taking in that moment.
Yeah.
And with Wonderwall, because it's like the one song, even like the security guards working that night that don't really know Oasis, they'll know Wonderwall. So it's like everybody knows Wonderwall. So it was a really beautiful moment.
Yeah.
And I hope Oasis felt that too.
Yeah.
Right? Like they could feel that with the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, I always remember when we went to see them in 2002 and they played Morning Glory. I always remember the one security guard just singing along.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. You just can't help it to their What's the Story Morning Glory era.
You can't help it. No.
Yeah.
That is our Wonderwall discussion. Katie and I are having an absolute blast doing the Every Single Oasis Single series. Let us know in the comments. Let us, if you're comfortable sharing, what's your relationship with Wonderwall over the years? We'd love to hear. We love hearing from people and their relationship with Oasis songs. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate your time. We have some really great singles coming up in the next few weeks. So stay tuned.